With a Boost by Smith's Rewards membership, you can save up to $1,000 a year with double fuel points on everyday purchases and unlimited free delivery to help you save both time and money. And every Boost membership comes with member-exclusive offers, including free items. So add it all up, and we think you'll agree. The benefits of a Boost by Smith's Rewards membership are more than worth it. Smith's, fresh for everyone. Restrictions may apply. See site for details.
Welcome to the KSL Real Estate Show. Hear updates on the national and local Utah real estate markets. We cover residential and commercial properties. Plus, get inspiring ideas to make your house a home from our sponsor, Osmond Designs. Here's Heather Osmond and Jeff Caplan on KSL News Radio.
Welcome to the Real Estate Show. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond is here from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem. So the Halloween decorations are gone from Osmond Designs. Do you have any election pillows?
We may need to get some of those, flag pillows, Jeff. Let's be honest. We have canisters full of candy, so life is good at Osmond Designs. Halloween is done. It's time to put away all of those decorations. We may or may not, I don't know. We have a few Halloween decorations left, and they're on clearance, so come and get those. And then also come check out our Thanksgiving decor. And, of course, Christmas. We're already selling all of that. It is the best time of year to prepare for all your family and friends to come and see your home. And it just is so fun. Fall's one of my favorite times of the holidays and the seasons, really, because your home just feels warm and cozy, and it's just beautiful. So come check that out. We have Dan Evans. He's a real estate agent with Summit Realty. Every time he's on the show, he's kind of one of our regulars. We always talk about the smells of fall and Christmas, and your favorite is?
Fraser Fir.
Right answer. It's definitely one of my favorites as well. I also love, the pumpkin cheesecake, the apple cinnamon. All of those are available at Osmond Designs. Dan, we are so grateful to have you back on the show. You are always the expert and guru of what's going on in the real estate market here in Utah. Let's first start with Utah trends. What's going on?
Well, thanks for having me, and excited to have Fraser Fir lining our hallways in our house as we speak. This morning I smelled it. It was great. So let's go with Utah trends first, if that's okay. So every election cycle, and this is my 5th election cycle as a real estate agent, we see a similar trend every single time, and it's playing out this time as well, is there's a little bit of hesitation. People wonder what's going to happen. Is the world going to continue? Are cats and dogs going to be sleeping together? Who knows what's going to go on?
Are you saying that people really say, we should buy this house, but let's not make an offer. Let's see what happens?
They don't explicitly say that, but you see that in their behavior. So a good example is we had a home that had close to 30 showings in 1 month. So this was just last month. 30 showings, really nice house, a beautiful $3 million house. People hesitated. There were, I think, 8 or 9 groups that said, we're interested. Just keep us updated if you have any offers coming in. So we finally got an offer in on the house. And then once we had one offer, we ended up with 4 offers because all those people sitting on their hands waiting for an offer to come in then decided to get off their seats and offer and buy it.
So doesn't that just raise the price?
All they did
all lost.
All they did was bid up the price. The original offer on that 3.5, or it was a $3.3 million home. First offer came in at $3 million. Then we got a second offer at $3.25. We ended up at $3.5 when all was said and done. So hesitating cost the initial buyer $500,000.
Ouch. Both of us at the same time. Ouch,
but
that
you
hurts.
see it. You see it all the time. And so some of it is the election cycle. Mm-hmm. And every election, we see the same thing where, hey, let's just see how things turn out. And at least in real estate, guess what happens? Life moves on.
Well, let's first talk about Utah because that's where Heather began. Is this election going to have this impact going forward? I mean, they're going to be tallying the votes in the coming week, and of course, who knows what's going to happen, but you still need a place to live.
Correct. And someone's going to win. And whoever that someone is doesn't affect if you need an extra car garage. It doesn't affect if you need a pool or you want more acreage. That doesn't change anything.
But people think cataclysmically
at
a moment like this that the United States is going to drop off the globe somehow. Or if the earth is flat, fall off the edge.
You better go to Walmart and get your toilet paper and your water bottles, right? Prepare for the end.
Of course, this is not what's going to happen.
Right,
but
of course.
No, but we should buy edge of the earth property, like on the front of the edge of the earth.
Great view.
Great view of
Great
space.
views.
But yeah, people think cataclysmically, and at the end of the day, it just continues on. And so as we see inventory in Utah is rising, it's up 10% from last year. We'll see that inventory start to play out after the election's over because you have January is when the major relocation cycle happens for corporations. So those people, whether we have a Democrat or a Republican winner, have to move and have to go to their new job.
Does the market typically go dark as we head toward Christmas time?
It's a common thought. It's a very common thought of, we don't want to sell in the winter. And frankly, moving isn't fun, regardless of if it's the summer or the winter. It's never fun. People think it goes dark, but the winter time is usually the biggest relocation time that we have in our market.
Don't you feel like people move in the winter because they have to?
Yes.
Right? It's not because it's fun. People that are looking at their homes, they're serious buyers.
Yeah, you see two types of buyers in the wintertime, and you don't see looky-loos. Mm-hmm. You see looky-loos all the time in the summer, but you see corporate relocation, or you see people who want to buy a destination home. So once... you see probably once every couple of weeks, a home, like a special home comes up on the market, and it could be December 10th, and people will buy it regardless of the time frame.
Okay, so the election's coming up. What's your prediction? Buy today because the values are going up?
Yeah, my prediction is...
We were scared you were going to ask us to pick a candidate.
Who, but...
Yeah, my prediction is so if you're looking at buying a home right now, the best advice you could get is if you've seen a home that you like, you need to go ahead and act on it because
Make an
otherwise,
offer.
Yeah, if you wait, you're just going to drive the price up for someone else.
That's what I say as well. I agree with that, Dan. Okay, so you are one of the top real estate agents in the entire state of Utah. I think you primarily specialize, would you say, luxury home market?
Mostly, yeah.
I think so too. Tell us what your advice is for those sellers. I know all the time we're talking about, you want your home to remain its value, to increase in value. To make updates to your home is so important because trends are changing.
Exactly. And trends, I don't know what the exact timeline is. Is it every 7 years that you see?
5 to 10.
Every 5 to 10 years. So, we had, and it's almost like rings on a tree. We had the honey-colored oak era. We are now ending and exiting the white kitchen era.
Everything white and black.
And gray. Yeah, exactly. And so now we're moving into what you'd probably argue is, say, like pastels and natural woods and that kind of stuff.
And modern.
And some bold colors, too.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we were just talking about this earlier today. We are putting in an outdoor kitchen at my house. And I would say the number one thing we hear from people, especially if they've lived in the home, say 5 years or more, is I wish we would have gotten our home ready to sell while we lived in it so that we could have enjoyed it. And it is a tale as old as time, is doing upgrades to your house, even every year. Pick a project depending on your budget. But adding something that you enjoy to the house most likely will add value to the home. But
I absolutely agree. So I've owned, I haven't counted recently, but I would say 16. I'll have to count later. But over, 20 plus years. And a lot of that was investments. So when you're living in a home, because it's an investment, you look at that differently than looking at or making updates on a home that you're going to stay in forever. And, clearly right now you're loving that outdoor kitchen. That will be something that will increase the value of your home, but you're going to enjoy that. And you wouldn't do that if you were just going to live in a home for a year and then turn around and flip that.
Exactly. This is a lifestyle thing. And now if we have buyers look at my house, they may look at that outdoor kitchen and say, that's nice, but I don't really care. And so looking at that and saying, I'm going to upgrade my home, I'm going to enjoy it, it should increase the value of your home across the board. Now, if you do a room with, dolls lining the walls, that's probably not going to help your home value. But otherwise, continual upgrades is a great way to keep on top of trends and have your home ready to go.
Okay, so real world example. I've had guest dogs visiting my house, and it's time to replace the carpet in the living room. There's a carpeted area, hardwood around it. We're going to have to refinish the hardwood. My wife talks about maybe we should just hardwood the whole thing because nobody wants carpet in their living area, and I don't know about these things. Your advice is do what you want to do while you're living there. Don't wait to do it before a sale. So I have to splurge and get hardwood?
Well, depending on how long you want to be there, Jeff, right? Is this your forever home? Then do it how you want.
It's a forever whatever home. We're not sure.
Who knows, right? You always have to leave your options open, but I'm always an advocate of hardwood floors through main living areas. They will just wear better over time.
Okay, so the question on my end, because for my wife, it's for her pleasure. For me, it's what's this going to do at resale should we get to selling?
Okay, that's a good question. And I would say in real estate in general, everything feels very expensive in the moment. Whether it's upgrades, whether it's purchases, whether it's anything, it always feels expensive in the moment you do it. In the rearview mirror, it looks cheap and there's almost always regret. So I say that from personal experience, having bought cheap flooring, having discounted on appliances, having gone the cheap way on painting. I have always regretted going the cheaper option. So if you have the budget, I would do the best possible option available without getting too out of control. So like natural hardwood shows and looks so great.
It has to match the existing hardwood because the whole thing flows through. And to me, that feels like it must be a nightmare, but I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, I may get in trouble with the flooring guys, but if your floor is a good example, you have natural wood, then you have manufactured wood, which looks great, and you see it everywhere. Then you have LVP, which is a synthetic kind of vinyl style, and then you go down from there. But you can tell the difference in price every single level you go down.
Absolutely. You're listening to the KSL Real Estate Show. You're going to get behind the scenes of, what's going on in Jeff's home, what's going on in Dan's home, and what's even going on in my home. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
With a Boost by Smith's Rewards membership, you can save up to $1,000 a year with double fuel points on everyday purchases and unlimited free delivery to help you save both time and money. And every Boost membership comes with member-exclusive offers, including free items. So add it all up, and we think you'll agree. The benefits of a Boost by Smith's Rewards membership are more than worth it. Smith's, fresh for everyone. Restrictions may apply. See site for details.
Did you know you can get the 3 things you need to know delivered right to you? Just go to KSLNewsRadio.com, click on menu, and then newsletter.
Or go to the KSL News Radio app and you click on menu, and then it's email alerts.
This is even easier. Just text the word inbox to 57500.
Get the top national and local stories with the 3 things you need to know newsletter.
Hey, it's me, Debbie Dujanovic. Did you know downloading the KSL News Radio app is not only free, it's easy. Just open your app store, type in KSL News Radio, and then download. Or simply text the word app to 57500. And I'll catch you on the radio weekday mornings at 9 on KSL News Radio.
Hi, I'm Debbie. I'm Caitlin. Welcome to our new podcast, Dating at Her Age.
The whole classic, hey, I got to go to the restroom, and then just don't come back.
No. It's a new KSL podcast.
Y'all want the meet cute.
We just want a happy ending. Join us for Dating at Her Age.
The new episode drops every Thursday on KSLNewsRadio.com.
We're back with the KSL Real Estate Show, sponsored by Osmond Designs on KSL News Radio.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Show, and thank you for listening. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond is here from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
Yes, thank you so much. I love doing this KSL Real Estate Show. It is something I look forward to every single week. Dan Evans is back on the show with us. He's one of our monthly regulars. He is a real estate agent with Summit Realty, and I would categorize you as a luxury real estate agent. You're definitely one of the best, and you always know what's going on. So let's first talk about Utah trends, and then we'll go into what's going on in the country as well.
Okay, and thanks for having me over. And I would say I fit that category of luxury agent. So Utah trends right now, as far as purchasing and selling, what we are seeing is a trend towards a community as far as people wanting to buy in a community. In the COVID era, it was just about getting a house and getting anywhere. Now people are starting to say, what does our next 5 to 10 years look like? And so you see neighborhoods really emerging that have a popular theme, which is a community feel. There's a neighborhood in Sandy called Pepperwood. That is a great example of a community that for years and years did really well value-wise, as you know. But then COVID and then the last couple of years, you cannot keep a home on the market in that area. Regardless of the age range of the buyer, people want to live there. And it's because you have a community feel. And so that's been a huge trend. The second is accessibility. So getting a home where you actually can be close to amenities and features and not just have a house. So we're seeing those two quite a bit. As far as current market, we're seeing buyers. The demand is very high for buyers. So if you're a seller sitting on the sidelines wondering, is this a good time to sell? Is it a good or bad market? There are so many buyers that want to buy something. Their hesitation is that remodeling costs a lot of money now, buying a home costs a lot of money now, but that they want a house. So our average listing now, we're seeing 30 to 40 showings on each listing.
Whoa. So if you're thinking of selling a home right now, call Dan Evans right away because you're probably going to get a top dollar.
Exactly. You're going to get top dollar and you're going to get advice that will actually help you make that top dollar.
Incredible. Okay. How about national trends? What's going on?
Nationally, what we're seeing is that some of the markets where there were a lot of COVID, we're seeing a lot of COVID reaction right now. So we had COVID, which was flee from urban areas and go to like Texas, Utah, Idaho. We're seeing people flee from some of the super hot markets that were going on. So Austin, Texas, tons of homes on the market. Phoenix, a lot of homes on the market. Las Vegas, a lot of homes on the market. Even Florida, we're seeing more homes come on the market. And the main reason is people made a move away from something. And usually if you're buying a home, ultimately you want to be towards pleasure and not away from pain when you're buying a home. And so that away from pain will last a little while. Towards pleasure is something that will last a lot longer.
For sure. There are a lot of tax consequences because of the election. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, I think it is like the weather. It gets talked about every single election is if a Democrat gets in the White House, and I'm just saying that I'm not saying any kind of bias, but the concern is if a Democrat gets in the White House, we will no longer have a capital gains exemption on our homes. We'll no longer be able to do 1031 exchanges on rental property, and opportunity zones will be a thing of the past. So usually the fear is Democrats will get rid of tax benefits of home ownership and of being an investor. And if a Republican is in there, then it will be super friendly towards housing. That's the common thought. We are, I think, on my fifth election cycle. We still have the capital gains tax exemption. We still have 1031 exchanges. Opportunity zones were a great policy from about 10 years ago. That's benefited a lot of really bad areas to gentrify. So tax consequences wise, if you're really truly concerned about it, you can certainly act before the next administration comes in. My thought is that generally speaking, you're probably in a good tax spot.
Isn't it hard to read at this point? I mean, sitting here right before the election, both candidates have put out plans that are basically, let's give away the candy store.
Oh, my God.
So you have no idea what's going to happen after somebody puts their hand on the Bible.
Exactly right. And the only thing we can look at is the past and say what has prevailed. And what has prevailed is that the benefits of home ownership are still a big tax benefit. So you get not only your capital gains tax exemption, and for those who don't know, if you own a home and you go to sell it after 2 years, if you are single, you have up to $250,000 in gains that you get tax-free. If you are married, you get $500,000 in gains tax-free if you live in it for 2 of the last 5 years. And then your mortgage interest is a deductible item in today's tax code.
That's if you like itemize, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And so those two are a benefit that have been around for a long time. And same with the 1031 exchange. My sense of it is, and I'm not a politician, I had a dad who was a lobbyist.
You should be. You'd be a good one. We need you. I'm going to write you in.
Thank you. I would take it right in. Is that typically the government will incentivize people to take risks. And that incentive right now is you get a tax benefit for starting companies. You get a tax benefit for owning real estate. So I think that will prevail, generally speaking.
And I think generally it's the American dream to own your own home. And personally, I'm a real estate investor. It has been where we've made all of our money. 90% of millionaires make their money in real estate. If you are not an investor, you need to be. Dan, how do people find you?
The easiest way, my phone is 801-372-3512. We have our Evans Team Utah Instagram. You can also find us on evansteamutah.com. We have Facebook, LinkedIn. We're on all the socials as well, but we're ready to help you out.
You're listening to the KSL Real Estate Show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Derek Overstreet here from the New Millennium Group. Listen, what I'm hearing a lot of is that folks would love to have an income plan that is specially made just for them, that provides an income stream that they cannot outlive as long as they're living. If you'd like a copy of one, give me a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com. We're standing by right now.
With a Boost by Smith's Rewards membership, you can save up to $1,000 a year with double fuel points on everyday purchases and unlimited free delivery to help you save both time and money. And every Boost membership comes with member-exclusive offers, including free items. So add it all up, and we think you'll agree. The benefits of a Boost by Smith's Rewards membership are more than worth it. Smith's, fresh for everyone. Restrictions may apply. See site for details.
I'm Jeff Caplan from KSL News Radio. You want to receive the latest news, traffic, and weather all in one place? All you have to do is subscribe to the KSL text line. Text the word news to 57500 and you'll get the latest news, traffic, and weather updates, sometimes before we get them on the air. I'll catch you on the radio weekday afternoons on KSL News Radio.
Hey, it's me, Debbie Dujanovic. Did you know downloading the KSL News Radio app is not only free, it's easy. Just open your app store, type in KSL News Radio, and then download. Or simply text the word app to 57500. And I'll catch you on the radio weekday mornings at 9 on KSL News Radio.
Hi, I'm Debbie. I'm Caitlin. Welcome to our new podcast, Dating at Her Age.
The whole classic, hey, I got to go to the restroom, and then just don't come back.
No. It's a new KSL podcast.
Y'all want the meet cute.
We just want a happy ending. Join us for Dating at Her Age.
The new episode drops every Thursday on KSLNewsRadio.com.
Welcome to the KSL Real Estate Show. Hear updates on the national and local Utah real estate markets. We cover residential and commercial properties. Plus, get inspiring ideas to make your house a home from our sponsor, Osmond Designs. Here's Heather Osmond and Jeff Caplan on KSL News Radio.
This is the KSL Real Estate Show. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond is here from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
Yes, they are. And in addition to all the stress in preparing your home for, all the friends and families that will be here for Thanksgiving and Christmas, we also have the election season that is upon us. We have Dan Evans. He is a luxury real estate agent with Summit Realty. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me.
We love having you. Let's talk a little bit about elections.
Okay, we were talking about that a little bit before. So the elections, we historically have seen a little hesitation in the market, usually because whoever your candidate is, you're worried that they will or won't win the election. And the world is either going to be great if they win, and the world is going to end if they don't. And so that's kind of what it's been. Historically, we see people, and like this month even, we've had people that have listed their homes for sale because they were worried about the potential consequence of someone winning the election. And so we had a great example of this in 2016. I had someone, this was Trump and Clinton when they were running. And this gentleman was convinced that if Trump was elected, the economy would collapse. Don't know what his basis was, didn't really ask him. I was just happy to take his call about selling his house.
Where was he going to live?
So his plan was to sell his house at a high level in 2016. So just think about that year and values. And he was going to rent until the dollar bottomed out, and then he'd buy something for pennies on the dollar. That was his thesis.
How'd he do?
He's still renting years later.
Don't rent.
But it was funny is I will never forget it because we sold his home and we were doing the final walkthrough. So I met the other agent at the house the day of the election when it was Trump and Hillary. And that day, it wasn't certain who was going to win, but I think it was trending towards Trump at the time that we met. And he was licking his chops. He's like, I got it right. Trump's going to win. Economy's going to collapse. And so it was interesting to hear that. I don't know what his news was. And I mean, we've only gotten more polarized since then. But it was interesting that was his thesis. And he was so convinced of it, and then sold a home and missed out on the last 8 years of what was probably record gains, we'll say.
Increase, yeah. Huge money.
Yeah, and so that is and I say that because it is funny that was his thought, and I still talk to him to this day, and he's like, it's going to bottom out, and we're 8 years of the dollar bottoming out.
But there are still people, I'm sure, today who say, yeah, it worked out all those times, but it takes one black swan event
exactly
to wipe you out.
Exactly, and we should be careful, generally speaking. But for this gentleman, he was convinced, and he's still convinced, it's going to bottom out 8 years later. And we had someone a month ago say, hey, I think this candidate's going to win, and I'm terrified of what's going to happen to our country if that candidate wins. So we want to sell our house, and we're going to head for the hills.
Wow. So, Dan, we are always an advocate for being a homeowner.
Yeah.
Hands down. What are some home buying tips for our listeners?
Okay. So with this interesting market we're in, which we're seeing a lot of, I would say the biggest issue we've seen, and for those who don't know, there was a big class action lawsuit and a settlement where now if you look at homes, you have to sign a contract with a realtor, even if you're saying I'm unrepresented or I'm represented, you sign a contract. So I've seen more and more buyers somehow going through with uninformed agents. So if I had a number one buying tip, if I were to say, if you're buying with an agent, I would interview that agent. I would get their qualifications, see how many homes they've sold. But second is I would have that agent show you the value of the homes in the neighborhood that you're looking at or the area you're looking at so that you are well informed. The reason why I say this, and the most recent example, but this happens every other day, is I have a listing in a neighborhood in Provo, and that home we'll just say is worth $1 million for fun. The agent went through the home and said, wow, that home, that was sticker shock. That home is way overpriced. And we asked her what she thought the home should be worth. And she said $600,000. So just 40% off.
Yeah. Wow.
And I told her, I'm like, I want 40% off of everything too. I would love that. And so anyway, I said, hey, well, show me, where do you feel like it's worth this much? And she just said, I feel like it's worth that much. So then we sent her comparable sales. We said, here's what $600,000 buys you in this neighborhood, which is a teardown. And then here's what $800,000 buys you and $1 million buys you, and why we were priced in the range we were at. And she took that information and she ignored it. And her client still is out looking at homes, said, you guys are wrong. I'm right. And so we tried to be careful when we're getting a showing on one of our listings. We try to be careful and share value with the agents and have a discussion with the agent ahead of the showing so that they can, if it's a good home for their client, they can help sell the client on the home. What we found is since that class action lawsuit where people are signing these contracts is they typically seem less informed and more rigid in their thinking than we had before. I don't know what that is. Why? I think some of it is, I mean, candidly, this has been our team. This has been a record year for us for not only sales, but for the amount of homes that we sold and also the dollar volume of the sales. If you look across the board, and I don't know if you see it, Heather, most agents are struggling, and they're struggling really bad. And when people struggle, they tend to let go of improvement. They tend to educate less and just hunker down. So you get kind of more restricted thinking.
Pushy.
Yeah, pushy. And so rather than listen to input or try to get more educated, they're just, hey, I just need this to sell, and I'm desperate, and let's just hope they find a home they like.
Wow, unbelievable. So, Dan, one of the things that I really love about you and your company that you work for is you guys are savvy. You guys are innovative. You're cold calling. I've seen you guys on treadmills, just calling. Once you list a home, you send out postcards. I mean, you are sending emails. You guys don't just list a home and then hope someone calls you. This is incredible.
Yeah, we work hard for it. We figure if you're paying us as much as you're paying us to sell a home, we should be working for it. And I was having a conversation with Zillow yesterday. They called me to talk about Zillow Showcase.
Wait, there's a guy like Mr. Zillow?
Yeah, Jeff Zillow. Yeah.
He calls Dan.
Yeah. So Michael Zillow called me. And so a guy, I mean, as a real estate agent, you get sold all kinds of things. Zillow, just an FYI, they make their money off of real estate agents like me. They don't advertise anything else. They just have agents like me pay for priority. That's all it is. So FYI, when you're looking on Zillow, you see agents' faces on there. Those guys paid the most money to be prioritized on there, and they typically have nothing to do with the home you're looking at.
Wow.
There you go.
There's a little trade secret.
A little trade secret doesn't mean they're even an expert on that home. They just get the lead and follow up and show you the house.
And since everybody's Zillow's, they must be making bank on this.
Zillow, so Zillow acquired a CRM, which is called a Client Relations Manager. So basically our main tool for keeping our database of clients. They acquired that, and I thought, I'm going to buy Zillow stock because they acquired our main CRM. And my stock is up 45% since the beginning of the year.
Not bad.
Zillow's doing pretty well because, like for me, they offered this thing called Zillow Showcase. And I'm not paid by Zillow. I am actually paying Zillow for Zillow Showcase. This is an interesting tool, which is so you have to get your home shot in a certain way. So it's a full floor plan layout. But what Zillow does is with the Zillow Showcase listing, if you look on Zillow, so if Jeff's looking at properties near Hogle Zoo for fun, and you look at that, if I have a Zillow Showcase listing, has Zillow ever reached out to you about other homes after you looked at one? I get emails.
I don't think so, no.
Oh, well, with Zillow Showcase, they're going to hound you if you're actively looking for homes.
I have to be honest. On Zillow, I look at my own house and see what it's worth
see
today.
What the Redfin, Zillow, yeah.
But Zillow's watching. And that's the thing is Zillow's watching. So the Zillow Showcase is a huge tool where they'll reverse engineer who's looking at homes and in that price category, and they will hound those people with your listing.
Wow. So another thing I've always been impressed about your company is you take great photos. Your presentations online are incredible, which is probably why you're doing so well on Zillow and so well in your business. Don't you feel like in today's day and age, it's more important than ever to have your home ready to sell and in top condition?
Yes, absolutely. In today's market, you have two things that you have control over. You have the price that you set on your home and the condition of your home and how it's staged. And what I tell sellers all the time when we're discussing pricing, because pricing is as important as the condition of your home, is we can't argue with people online about why your neighbor sold for a lower price than you think they should have. All we can do is present it online and then have conversations with them.
Maybe my thinking is 2 years old. But weren't you supposed to just sell it as is, get it on the market, go, go, go? Wasn't that a thing?
It was a thing. It was a great thing for a lot of people.
It really was.
Yeah, and in fact, we were heroes. And I wish when the market was going up and down, like if it was going up, I wish I could share in the profit of the homes, but you don't get a share in it. But what is right now is we're not in a COVID market. People are working and they're moving because they have to move, not because they want to move.
For sure. Okay, let me give a shout out to Central Bank. If you are in the market, definitely please call Central Bank. Get pre-approved so that you know how much you are comfortable spending on your home. Just because you can qualify for a certain amount does not mean that you should max out that amount. There are people like Dan Evans that can give you all of the tips and tricks and use his experience to help you navigate all of this. Central Bank is local. They have locations across the entire Wasatch Front. They have been in business for 130 years. So please look into their products. They do not only car loans, they do construction loans, they do HELOC loans, of course, your everyday home loan, all the good things. And they have a youth savings plan, which is pretty cool. So thank you, Central Bank, for sponsoring this KSL Real Estate Show. Okay, we have about 1 minute left in this episode. What are some other tips and tricks for buyers today?
For buyers, is if I were a buyer, I would just make sure that whoever you work with to sell your home or to sell you a home is a good qualified agent. I know that with the class action lawsuit, the theory was buyer agents would go away or you'd have to pay a buyer agent directly. What is still going on in our current market is the seller is still paying buyer agents.
They have to.
Yeah. It's not currently listed on the listing, but we get offers on our listings and it just shows up as 3% for the buyer agent. So I'd almost say that people are paying more commissions to buyers, the agents, than they were before because of that.
And negotiation is so important. So you need someone experienced like Dan Evans and his team. Stay tuned. You're listening to the KSL Real Estate Show. We'll be right back.
Derek Overstreet from the New Millennium Group. Hey, if you'd like to get a copy of a written income plan that provides income that you cannot outlive as long as you're alive, give us a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370.
With a Boost by Smith's Rewards membership, you can save up to $1,000 a year with double fuel points on everyday purchases and unlimited free delivery to help you save both time and money. And every Boost membership comes with member-exclusive offers, including free items. So add it all up, and we think you'll agree. The benefits of a Boost by Smith's Rewards membership are more than worth it. Smith's, fresh for everyone. Restrictions may apply. See site for details.
Tim and Amanda here. Did you know you can get the 3 things you need to know delivered right to your inbox? Put the news back in newsletter and sign up today.
Every weekday, we'll send you an email with the news that's most important to you, including the 3 things you need to know that day.
Subscribe now. Text the word inbox to 57500 and we'll see you on the radio. Weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
Hi, I'm Debbie. I'm Caitlin. Welcome to our new podcast, Dating at Her Age.
The whole classic, hey, I got to go to the restroom, and then just don't come back.
No. It's a new KSL podcast.
Y'all want the meet cute.
We just want a happy ending. Join us for Dating at Her Age.
The new episode drops every Thursday on KSLNewsRadio.com.
We're back with the KSL Real Estate Show, sponsored by Osmond Designs on KSL News Radio.
And we're back on the Real Estate Show. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond is here from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
Yes, they are. We have the holidays right around the corner, and truthfully, we just want you to love your home. Part of that is just making sure that you are in a home that you love, so then you can furnish it and make it a place that is specifically catered and perfect for your family. Today we have Dan Evans. We've been talking about Utah trends, national trends, the importance of continuing to update your home, the election, interest rates. It's been a lot. So if you missed any of that, please go back and re-listen to our episode. Dan Evans with Summit Realty, you were one of the absolute best in the entire state of Utah, and you really specialize in the luxury home market. So, Dan, what's different in this Utah market?
Okay, so thank you for asking that. I talk to agents nationwide, and the one unique thing about Utah, other than it's an amazing state and awesome and beautiful, is that we have more for sale by owners per capita than any major metro. And so it's an interesting dynamic of Utah. You see it specifically in the Salt Lake and Utah County valleys. You don't see it as much in Park City, but the one thing we notice is that people list by owner because agents cost a lot of money, which is true, and it's really expensive if your agent isn't good. That's a lot of money. Number 2 is they had a bad experience with an agent, and I can relate. I've had plenty of those. And then number 3 is it just seems easier. I don't want an agent to tell me what I have to do. I just want to sell the house. So that's usually why they do that. Actually, and number 4 would be they get approached by, say, we'll pay cash for your house group, or wholesalers is what they call them, to come buy their home.
Okay, but I think what people don't realize, maybe the elephant in the room, is that you actually don't save money by being a for sale by owner because you don't have the market research to price your home appropriately.
Sure I do. I saw comps.
No, you don't.
Them. You've had them? Yeah, you get them. And, I mean, if you want a dirty little secret, I have never bought my own residence on the MLS. I have bought everything off market. But when I've gone to sell my houses, every one of them hit the MLS. So if it's a do as I do and not as I say, that's what I've done.
I can relate to that just a little bit. I have a combination of both, but sometimes you can get the best deals when it hasn't hit the market because they don't realize maybe the value of the home.
Exactly.
Wait a minute. I'm a homeowner. I want to buy. How am I finding these houses that are not on the market? What is that you're talking about?
Well, if you have a huge ad budget, you can send out postcards like the wholesalers do and say, hey, we'll pay cash for your house. And the secret is those guys pay you 80 cents on the dollar because their business model is either to flip it to someone who will flip your home or to sell it at a discount to someone else. Almost always. Those cash buyers are not looking out for you or to make your life easier. They prey on desperate people.
Okay, so let me give you an example. My darling niece, Caitlin, she decided that she wanted to be in an area of beautiful townhomes, and there were not any for sale. And we were looking forever, probably months, to see, when one of these would pop up. So finally, we had the creative idea, we're just going to go put flyers on everyone's homes and see if someone will buy or will sell that so that she could buy her home. Well, it wasn't even 3 days later someone called, and she bought it.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what we're talking
So
about.
that's how off market
You just
works?
hustle.
That's how
You
you either call or you leave flyers, but it's a great way to get a good price.
You just get your Epson printer going with a little tape, and that's
wanna
how
buy
you
your
find your
house.
home.
Exactly. And having us do that, you can leverage our experience there. I mean, we had a good example is I've got we'll say a friend of mine who was going to sell his house, and he called me up and he said, "Hey, no offense, I'm going to sell it by owner." I said, "Sure, go for it." Sold it, tried it by owner, didn't sell it, then went the flat fee broker route, which is basically you pay someone to put it on the MLS, and they don't do anything but put it on the internet. He called me up 6 weeks ago. He said, "I've got 4 weeks to close on my house. I need to sell this or I lose this home that I'm going to buy." And so when we listed his house for sale, we put it on the market. We get showings from there. I then went through my database of people and thought, who in the world could buy this house? I called 12 people, and one of those people ended up being the high bidder on his house.
So it worked out.
And he made more money, even with my commission.
But you were doing business like kind of with the proverbial gun to your head.
Yeah,
30 days.
That was high pressure, but we got it done.
Especially when it's your friend, right? That makes it even a little tighter.
Yeah.
Oh, so don't do that. Just hire the best. Dan, how do people find you?
The best way and easiest way is my phone number is 801-372-3512 or evansteamutah.com. We're here for you anytime, even just to talk.
Thank you so much for being on the show. You're listening to the KSL Real Estate Show. We'll be back next week.
With a Boost by Smith's Rewards membership, you can save up to $1,000 a year with double fuel points on everyday purchases and unlimited free delivery to help you save both time and money. And every Boost membership comes with member-exclusive offers, including free items. So add it all up, and we think you'll agree. The benefits of a Boost by Smith's Rewards membership are more than worth it. Smith's, fresh for everyone. Restrictions may apply. See site for details.